Hey, what's up, guys? Coach Ivan here with Gym Coaching. I wanted to make a little video just to show you how I've been tracking my information for the Back to the Basics program that I'll be running. This just shows you an example of how I track my data in the tracking sheet that I created. The people that will be joining the program get a copy or their own tracking sheet, and they also get some additional perks like meetings and Zoom invites with me once a week to just kind of go over their stats and their data. So I'm going to share with you just a quick little overview of how I track my information, and I'd love for you guys to join. The closeout time for the registration is the end of day today, Friday, which is the 26th. I will attach a copy of the link to register. It's free, and I'd love to have you guys jump on board, okay? But without further ado, let's get to it. I'm going to share my screen with you really quick. Awesome. Okay, so when you open up my tracking sheet, down at the bottom, you'll see all the tabs that I have. We have the intro. This basically has the overview to the Back to the Basics program. You also have a tab for hydration, which is one of the pillars. Then you have the sleep quality, which is the second pillar, and the fuel and nutrition, which is your third pillar. We're focusing on the three pillars of physical health: hydration, sleep quality, and fuel nutrition. You'll see that I do have some other tabs here like movement and weight. Those are optional tracking metrics that you can basically just track for yourself to kind of see how how the focus on your pillars is impacting your movement and your weight loss or weight gain, whatever is happening. And then we have a big picture tab at the end, which kind of brings all of these stats together week by week, so you can try to look for any kind of patterns. Okay, so I'll go through how I basically enter this information myself. So let's go to the hydration tab first. In the hydration tab, you can see down in the chart below, I've already been tracking what I've been doing per day. And my measurement unit that I've been using is a 32-ounce bottle that I have, a Yeti bottle. And I basically try to go to about 3.25 of those per day. And that should hit my requirements of about 3 liters of water today or per day. So for example, it's Friday, I'm on week 3, so I've already drank 1.5 of those. So for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and mark 1, and I just do it in ounces, 32 ounces. And you'll see that it'll kind of color code. The more ounces that you drink, the darker the blue it will get. And then at the end of the week there, you'll see an average that you have available for you. Okay, so I can kind of see how I'm averaging my water intake per week, if I'm falling short or if I'm drinking more, etc. Let's go to sleep quality. So sleep quality is a little bit more involved, not too crazy, but this one you really, all I worry about is just the number of hours that I sleep. And it's as easy as basically just tracking down, okay, I went to bed at 10 p.m., I woke up at 6 a.m., that's 8 hours of sleep. If you want to take it a step further and you have a device that can give you a sleep score, then you can also include your sleep score as well. So since you guys are following along with me, I'm going to look, I have a Google Pixel Watch, and it tracks my sleep. And I'll just go to that real quick. All right, and so last night I slept about 7 hours and 6 minutes. So I'll just go 7 hours here. You'll see that's kind of color coded as well. The higher you go, the darker the green it will be. And then it gave me a sleep score of 82, which is not too bad. So I just mark in the amount of time that I slept in hours, the sleep score, and then you're also given an average as well at the end, okay? Let's jump over to fuel and nutrition. Okay, so fuel and nutrition. So this is probably going to be the most involved. If you want to keep it very basic, which is what this program is all about, I recommend if you're a female or male, just to set your maintenance calorie target to your recommended daily value. For females, it's usually 2,000. For males, it's 2,500. As we go through the program, you'll actually have an option to learn how to calculate it through the TDEE calculator, which is your total daily energy expenditure, which gives you a little bit more fine-tuned level of your maintenance calories, and you can kind of adjust that as you want to. But for me, I wanted to be nice and simple. I said, you know what? I'm just going to try to see how close I can stay around 2,500 calories per week. So what I do, if we jump down to week 3 in the chart, you'll see on the right-hand side where it's highlighted, is where I actually set my maintenance goal. And I can change that. I can do 2,000, or I can do 2,300, etc. But I'm gonna go with 2,500 for now. All right. Now, you can actually fill in your calories, and then you have to also have the option of putting in your protein as well. So if somebody is a little bit more advanced, but they wanted to do this back to the basics, and they also want to track their protein intake, that's perfectly fine as well, but that is not required. That's totally optional. To track my calories, I use MyFitnessPal. I'm usually very general with it. I usually scan what I need to off of the items that I buy, and I try to stick with just the serving size of whatever I scan, just to kind of keep it simple. So that's the best way to do it. So for example, I'm gonna go on my phone here, and I will tell you everything that I ate this morning. And let's go here real quick. So for example, for breakfast this morning, and a lot of these I have saved because I eat a lot of the same things. I had 2 eggs. So I go ahead and put in my 2 HEB extra large eggs. I had some egg whites as well from Costco. So the egg whites from Costco, and I had 2 ounces. I usually do the same thing, 2 eggs and 2 ounces of egg whites. I did have some, it's like a Polish sausage from HEB, and I always reduce that or keep that to 2 ounces, which is a serving size. I had a slice of Munster cheese with that. And so I'll go ahead and use that, which is usually, that's usually an, a serving right there is 1 ounce. And then I had a bun, a sweet bun from the food truck that I work on. And those buns are 1 ounces. And you can usually look up the brand, and you'll be surprised how much you can find on MyFitnessPal. In fact, I challenge you to find that stuff, because it's, you know, me being of Puerto Rican descent, I'll even look up Puerto Rican food when I go back to my mom's house, and I just use the closest thing that it looks like, and then I just guesstimate how much I ate. As you go through this program, you can get a little bit more granular, but we don't want to overwhelm you with tracking and measuring and all that stuff. Okay, so if you're going by eye, that's fine. You can also go by cup measurements if that's easier for you, but you don't have to weigh your food. So I'm going to go with that. And then I also had some avocado. All right. Let's see here. Avocado. Okay, so avocado was replaced, so I'm going to go ahead and put 1 in here. Let's say it was half of a medium avocado, which is exactly what I had. All right, and I'll just put that in there. And then I had some coffee, and the coffee I had it with some 2% HEB milk, probably about 1 ounce in there. I'll just say 2 ounces because I had 2 coffees this morning. 1 ounce and 2, perfect. Nice. So that's all I've eaten so far. So right now we're looking at about 694 calories. So I go ahead and just pop this in here, 694. Okay, and so it's going to be marked red, yellow, or green, depending on like a certain percentage of the variance from your goal. So I have it set to 20% variance. So if you're like, I think if you're like within 10%, like 90% to 110% of your calories, it'll be green. If it's within 20% variance, so 80% to 120% of your calories, it'll turn yellow. And anything outside of that window is going to be red. Okay. And you kind of want to try to, we're really trying to shoot for more green days, more yellow days than red days. Okay. So from MyFitnessPal, I can also see the protein that I ate and basically just track that there. All right. Let's see, for movement. So this one can be very straightforward, very straightforward too. Again, the recommendation is 150 minutes per week. If you divide that across 6 days, and let's say you give yourself a rest day on the 7 days of the week, we're looking at 25 minutes per day for 6 days, which I think is very doable. And you can do that, split it up however you want. I usually like to make that a morning walk just to get some sun. And so, yeah, so I just did that earlier today, did 25. I'll probably get a workout in later for some strength training, and I'll tack it in later. So 25, and then I use my Fitbit on my Google Watch, which tracks my walking. And let's see if it tracked anything for today. It did. It tracked my 23-minute walk. So it was actually 23 minutes, which is cool. And I burned about 198 calories. Again, the calorie burn is usually very off. I really wouldn't trust that on a lot of devices, but if you feel good tracking it, that's an optional thing to track. But really, you can just track your minutes if you want to. And again, this is an optional sheet. So if you don't want to share how you're moving and stuff like that, then that's up to you. Same with weight. So weight is also optional as well. I mean, if you want to see what kind of changes you get from this program, it's good to track your weight. If you can do it daily, that's awesome. You can do it weekly as well, maybe like the start of every week that we do it, just to kind of see if there's any changes. Again, we're looking for patterns here. We want to understand how sticking to these pillars is going to impact our body and our weight and our aesthetics, everything. All right, so today, now for mine, I use a scale by Renpho that connects Bluetooth to my phone. I just open up the app, step on the scale, hang out there for a couple seconds, and it'll automatically log it. So for example, today, if I go to Renpho, let's see, I'm gonna let it sync up what it took today. All right, and it looked like it logged 190.6, okay? And let's move on. So that covers weight, and you can see that it also collects an average of your weight per week. So sometimes, you know, you can see all these weights like fluctuating. Again, I kind of like to think of it as the stock market. You'll typically see your weight kind of bouncing up and down. I don't really let that get to me. What I'm looking for is more of a long-term trend, kind of like the stock market, except inverse, where it's like I'm looking for the trend of it going down. So even though I might be jumping up a pound or half a pound or losing 2 pounds here and hopping up and down, in the end, what I'm looking for in the span of everything is that I've gone down in weight. Okay, but again, for this program, weight loss is not an option. Like it's not like a thing that we're striving for. If it happens, cool. You might actually gain some weight. You might actually gain some muscle. You might feel healthier. You might be eating better, and that's perfectly fine too. This is not a weight loss challenge. Okay. So now we tracked weight. Let's go over to the big picture, and this is the part that I kind of wanted to show you. So you'll see that I have my 2 weeks tracked already, week 1 and week 2. This will start all fresh when the program starts. On week 3, you can see that I'm up to Wednesday here. What I've tracked so far, I still will do another tracking at the end of the night because I'm still eating throughout the day. I'm still drinking water throughout the day. In fact, as I do that, to a reminder. But we can take a look at like week 1, for example. And what we're looking for is some kind of trends, right? So in week 1, you can see like I drank water pretty well. I hit all my water goals for the most part, exceeded one day, a little short on the other. Sleep was really good. I was in the green in the first week. I was really at it. Nutrition, I hit within 10% of my goal 4 days out of 7, which is not bad. Anything above 50%, anything above 50% is a win for me. Movement, yeah, I definitely hit that 150-minute mark. I moved a lot. I try to walk every day, so that's usually not a problem. And then weight, you can see that I started at 193 and then I ended at 190. Okay, let's jump down to week 2. Week 2 is usually the one that'll get a lot of people. You do great the first week, you enter that first weekend. If you are somebody that likes to drink or go out to party or hang out with people all weekend, or go out to eat a lot, this is where you'll probably see it impact in number 2. And this is where people will usually get discouraged. They'll be like, man, I was doing so good on week 1, I lost 3 pounds, and week 2, I feel like I'm starting over. It just happens, okay? And that's from my personal experience. So if you experience something different, that's awesome. But yeah, you can see on week 2, hydration was there. Sleep is where I struggled a little bit. I had some days where I was about 6 hours, maybe stayed up late. There was one day there, Thursday, I guess that night before, Wednesday to Thursday, I really couldn't sleep much at all, or I stayed up really late. And I only got like 3.5 hours of sleep. And then for my fuel and nutrition, I really did not eat that well that Thursday. And I ate too low. And then probably because I ate too low that Thursday, I was super hungry on Friday, and I went over on Friday. You can also see that Thursday that my movement was not too good. I was at 35 minutes. And then on Friday, I didn't squeeze anything in. So I had 0 that day. And you can see that my weight was reflecting it, kind of. You can see that, yeah, from 189.2, I started out great that week, almost 4 pounds down from when I started this challenge. Slowly started creeping up, 191, then 190, so drop back down, 191.4 again, 191.4, and then Saturday, it's like, I guess, Thursday and Friday stacked on top, and I'm ended up weighing 192. But that Saturday looks like I got my stuff together. I was in the green zone with my eating. I slept 7 hours. I moved 128, which sometimes that's a pattern that I'll see, is that if I have a bad previous day and I didn't do anything, it's like that next day I feel like I have to do extra. Whether that's good or bad, I mean, it's going to be able to tell based off of this. But remember, our movement is not necessarily a focus on this program. It's the hydration, the sleep, and our maintenance calories, how close we're eating to our maintenance, okay? So it was 192 for weight on that Saturday, and then Sunday, you can see I dropped almost another 2 pounds. Sleep was okay, food was a little bit shy, and I still got some movement in. So I still hit my goals for that week 2, okay? So by the end of week 2, from 193, I'm down to 190.2. So now we're at week 3. You can see so far starting so good. Sleep is struggling a little bit, probably because I was working late over the weekend. Oh man, I went ham on Monday. So on Monday, I went eating a lot, 3,392. Just straight up, honestly, probably, I was probably in a funk. I ate some chocolate. I got a hold of some beaver nuggets from Buc-ee's, and that really took me up too high. Movement was good though. I worked out for like an hour. Tuesday, sleep was a little struggling. Food is kind of getting reined back in. I still moved. So I went from 189.4. Look at that difference. So from that food that I ate on Monday, just binging that night before, I went from 189.4 that Monday morning to that next morning on Tuesday to 194.8. 5 pounds increased. Okay, so those are the things you got to kind of keep an eye out for. Now, I'm not kicking myself for it because I've done this before, but you can see like just kind of reining things back in that day. This morning I weighed 190.6, so I already dropped back down 4.2 pounds. So that's the thing with the weight fluctuations. As long as you're kind of able to really kind of rein yourself in on the majority of the days of the week, you should be able to kind of see some impact to your weight. But anyway, guys, that's kind of what I do to do the tracking for the Back to the Basics program. I hope this is helpful for you. I'd love for you to jump on board. I hope you stuck and watched this whole video. It's very, I've been finding it very helpful to just look at my numbers. I'm going to be starting, like I said, again, fresh this coming Monday. So I'd love for you guys to jump on board. Registration's going to be, the registration link will be attached to this video in some way in the description or in the post. And yeah, I'd love you guys to be on board, and I'm excited to do this with the group that I have signed up already, and these tracking sheets will be going out. All right, guys, take care.